Morning, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Our boy, is he there?
He is here. He's
Hi,
saying
Eric.
hi to Mama and hi to everybody watching.
Well, we're going to have a very uplifting session today. And Eric, I want to start out with tell us the simplest ways to find happiness. See, that's a little important, huh? Maybe just a tad.
Just a tad important.
Yes.
Oh, well, your lovely son right away went towards intimacy to find happiness. Knowing one's own body. He wants me to say the word masturbation. I said it.
You did.
I did. There you go.
He's
He talks.
your chain all the time.
So he talks about knowing yourself, feeling comfortable in your own skin. That right there changes so much. And he said other simple ways is to be still. And he said not still like as in lazy, but as life is throwing you tons of decisions, tons of opportunity, he goes, take a moment and breathe, pay attention to your breath. And he said you'll notice this extension of distance between you and what's going on. But though it feels like a distance, you will discover you're more attached to it than ever. Optical illusion, he's shouting. Optical illusion. So he said stillness helps quite a bit with simple joys. And then he said simply just acknowledging when you're fucking happy. He goes, we stomp on it all the time. And he said, you could be happy with the choice of gum you just made. And you go to smile and you think, well, that's stupid. It's just stupid. Somehow being happy became stupid somewhere. And he said, it really sucks. He goes, finding that shirt that really fits you, or that smell, that softness, allowing yourself to do those things that put a smile on your face and just fucking own up to it. He's shouting. He says, just do it. That right there, when people come across you, they'll see where you're coming from. They'll want to match it. He goes, and all of a sudden it's two happy dudes hanging out. That's what he'd be up to. He goes, those are his top 3.
Okay, so this is really interesting. This brings up a memory of some self-reflection here. I had a very difficult childhood, and I grew up wondering what joy felt like. And so I've been in this perennial search for, I don't feel joy. I mean, what does it feel like? And then I realized that, joy does not have to be this euphoria. It could just be a simple, like, it's the sun is shining today, or that tree is blossoming, etc. What do you have to say about that? In other words, if you want to be happy, lower your expectations.
He said, if you want to have a great day, keep it simple. He goes, it's the same thing. Lower your fucking expectations. He said, my mom's totally right. When we talk to other people, we want to fluff our feathers or peacock to let people see how great we're doing and everything. And all of a sudden, in our culture, we've created this false definition of what joy is, that it should be this total euphoria, or that you should reach certain achievements in life to even be able to have joy. Like you should have so much money, be able to do this and that and that. He goes, the poorest of people know better definitions of joy, simplicity, connection to all that is, than those who have tons, have everything. And he said, I'm not judging, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying a lot of your definitions, as you're sitting and watching this, think about it, are I need to have these certain things so that I can be happy. Mm-hmm. Success doesn't equal happiness. The perfect marriage doesn't equal happiness. He said it really generates from inside. He goes, that's why my first 3 tips to you were all about you and not achieving something outwardly. So take that.
Yeah. So Abraham Lincoln had a quote, what was it? People are just as happy as they've made up their minds to be. So I guess that confirms your point.
Perfect.
Now, what do you mean by simplicity? Let's talk about that.
Oh, by lowering your expectations, or better yet, not having any expectations.
Ah.
And simplicity, well, that didn't make sense. Hold on. Simplicity is not supposed to include any kind of telepathic needs. Like when you're talking to someone and they come up to you and they're like, oh my God, this is what happened to me today, blah, 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 blah. And he said, and you want to share your day too. So you sit and wait, and then the person never asks you, and therefore you don't share. And you go, oh, they didn't care enough to ask me. And, you know, it's always about them. It's always about them and never about me. I'm not saying that. He goes, well, dumb, you stupid shithead. It's not all about them. You chose to shut up and not say anything. You don't have to play that telepathic game of, okay, ask me, ask me, ask me so that I can share. No, you're supposed to just say, wow, your day is amazing and that happened, blah, blah, blah. My day. And he goes, you give it to them. If you want to share, you do it. Follow through with what you want to do. Follow through with how you feel. And he says, and that makes it very, very simple. You're not complicating things by demanding other people be telepathic to your needs, or that you have an expectation of them or yourself to perform a certain way, to reach a certain level, to obtain a certain joy. He goes, no, you just allow it to be what it is. Simple. Simple. Think simple. I'm not saying think dumb. I'm not saying be stupid. Simple is taking away the complexes, taking away the expectations and the processes, and just allowing yourself to react to how you feel. Ding!
All right. So you're saying tend to your emotional needs? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, that would take knowing what your emotional needs are. How do you do that?
Because sometimes knowing it comes without an explanation, without a definition. So a lot of people are looking at identifying how they feel by knowing what it is, by putting a label to it. But simply by slowing down and letting your emotions rise above what you're thinking or what you're logically processing, then that is going to get you to the place of identifying with how you're feeling.
So
It doesn't necessarily have to be the word, Mom.
All right, so you're not necessarily supposed to. How do I feel? I kind of feel sad. Is you labeling it? Is that what you're talking about? You don't want to label it.
Well, he says some people don't need to have the name to the feeling. If they can just connect to the feeling, sometimes you don't have to identify with it at all. You don't have to label it and describe it. You can just connect to that feeling.
Well, what's wrong with labeling it and describing it? What's wrong with saying, I feel sad today?
He says very loudly, some people label them wrong.
Oh, give me an example of when that would happen.
He said, my favorite example is when people are very excited because they're about to do something that they have designed for their life to do. They're all in it, and their heart rate is racing and their belly is turning, and they call it anxiety. They won't even call it, pure excitement and joy. Nope, anxiety. Oh, I don't know. And then they start the worry thing. There's nothing to worry about. Everything that they're about to step into is something they've designed. They're about to experience it and just collect all the honey, he said. It was funny the way he did it. That's his biggest example.
Okay. Now, so some people, it's hard to find happiness. Maybe they're being abused by a spouse, for example. I mean, maybe they're suffering in some way. Maybe they have terminal cancer, etc. How can they find happiness? Well, how can people who are really, really struggling and their life is difficult or painful, how can they find happiness?
He said whether it be physical pain, mental pain, emotional, situational, environmental. He said it is in the simple moments where they are able to connect to themselves and not to their identity or definition of who they are to others or the situation. That's where they find the joy and the happiness. And from that spot is where they should make the decisions of where they should be, how they should heal, how they should find acceptance.
Okay.
He said hold on, I'm having him repeat it. So he's talking about the path to a happiness or a joy when we're looking at the people we're describing, people who have a really hard or difficult life. And he said that you can navigate that path by using acceptance as a balance. If something is happening in your life and you're having a difficult time accepting it, or you know you don't want to accept it, let's say your spouse is abusive, and he said, you're aware that you don't want this, you don't want to accept that. And he said, if that's the line that you've come across, then you need to change your path. With cancers, things like that, of course, not everybody jumps up and down and says, yay, I'm, terminally ill and sick. And he said, so you reach a line, and so you have to get off that path. But that's something that you change the focus on, you change the way you feel it, you change the way you accept it, even though it's going to go with you, the path is going to be very different. Whether you look at healing in a different way, whether you surrender into using chemicals, instead of going holistic, there's a million different challenges that come with it. So you can use acceptance. Can I accept this? Can I not? To gauge your path to find the happiness.
All right. So, for example, give me one example of how somebody with terminal cancer would find a path to happiness? What would it be about perspective? Is that what you're saying?
He said you could say it's about perspective. Perspective is how you see the situation, so it's more of a logical experience. Acceptance is more of the emotional experience, how you're wrapping your heart around the situation. So it could be that you have the cancer and you never ever wanted to die, like you're more afraid of death, and then all of a sudden you understand that it's okay that you leave. Like life will be okay without you. Your children will be okay without you. You have that acceptance. You have that situated. All of a sudden, with this, your chances of healing through the cancer, well, I think you just made that word up. It increases. We'll just put it like that. He said some or whatever. It increases.
You're a dictionary. We need to take a look at that one.
Look it up.
Well, really. So I think it was you that said this, Eric, but I'm not sure. Ignorance is not bliss. Acceptance is bliss. Is that right?
Yeah, he said, yeah.
That's happiness.
We were hanging out and talking to my little guide, Maitland. She's 9, and she loves these little phrases. And she loves saying, the quality of your answer equals the quality of your question. And her other one is, ignorance is not bliss. Awareness is bliss. So the awareness includes the head and the heart. It's not just perceptive or acceptance. It's all it is.
So
awareness is bliss.
So awareness is more than acceptance? Awareness is more than acceptance?
The way that Maitland describes it is awareness of something is your mental clarity and your heart's clarity on the situation.
Okay. And you have to have that to be able to have acceptance?
No, acceptance is the emotional quality.
Oh, okay. All right.
I accept it.
All right. Got it. All right. So along the same lines, a lot of times we just can't be happy because we don't know if we're fulfilling our life's purpose. So my next question is, are there any keys to fulfilling one's life purpose?
He's dangling keys next to my head. Can you hear them like ching-ling?
Oh, really?
There's no actual keys.
Oh,
I really wish I could grab him sometimes. There's no actual Eric.
What's he doing now?
Oh, key sounds.
Oh.
High pitch key sounds.
Well, he hides people's keys all over the world. Thank you very much, Eric. That and sunglasses. They're your faves.
Maybe these are everybody's keys across the world that he's jingling for us today.
He's collected a whole bunch.
Return them, Eric. Because there are no actual keys to this. Oh my God. Go ahead and ask the question again. Let's get Hit Boy on track.
All right. A lot of people have a hard time finding happiness because they don't know how to fulfill their life's purpose. How do they do that?
Life's purpose, Eric. Go. Life's purpose, he's saying, is going to be connected to passion.
Okay.
What are you passionate about? What's going on, he calls it, in that area of your life? A lot of times your life's work is not about the career you choose. I think that's where we get confused. We hear the word work, and it obviously should be part of our career, when simply your life's work could be raising your child. It could be being a safe driver. It could be something that we see as a common task and maybe not as special, because many people have the opportunity of doing this kind of work. But you have to get you have to get crazy simple, is what he said. And I went, wow, those two things just don't go together. But he means extremely calm and simple with identifying what your passion is. And what do you really care about in this world? If it's your family, then this is your life's work. If it is protecting the trees, indigenous species, if it's frogs, if it's milk, whatever it is, then this is what you need to allow yourself to move closer to and start manifesting that in your life. And when you do that, that's when you know you have done your life's work, because you've engaged your passion into it. Passion is simply something that you like a lot, a lot. Got it.
But give me an example. Let's say Joe Blow. He is working in a cubicle at an insurance company. That's not his life's purpose. Walk me through a fictitious situation with him.
Yeah, Mr. Blow.
Oh, God. Wrong name.
You did wrong name, because then he shows me it written on paper and it says Blow, comma, Joe. And he's like, I wish I was Joe. So an example, Joe works, what was the thing? God, I'm so sorry. He's making me AD.
Uh-oh. No, he worked in a cubicle at an insurance company.
And where's the passion, right?
Yeah, that's not his passion. So walk me through a fictitious passion, what questions he should ask himself, how to arrive at that.
Okay, let's say Joe works at insurance, but he's not really into it. He's doing it for the money and the security and helping his family, so he kind of feels like he's selling his soul. That's his thing, whatever. But he loves fishing. Holy cow, the dude loves fishing. So every weekend he does it. Every vacation he includes it. He's got tackles and all kinds of things. He's found that using a certain kind of peanut butter on one of the worms works well, or this color is better in this season, in this location. He's found out all these things for himself so he can have a better fishing experience. These are the things that he could take, whether it's publication, whether it's teaching, whether it's taking tours, creating a part-time job, sharing his information, his experience with other people, whether it's a blog, a paid blog, a publication, a teaching, a lesson. And then once this part-time, let's say touring, teaching people how to fish, the locals, maybe he wants to travel with it and he gets exotic with it and he starts taking people with him. And all of a sudden it becomes full-time fisherman job. He goes, it may take time to build up that same kind of security and stability, but he can eventually get there. And what if people just feel so insecure that they can't 100% go into their passion? Yeah. Well, then you create something else. You make your passion more of a hobby thing. Maybe it's a volunteering. Maybe you don't want money in your passion. And you have your other career. And this is the career that helps you sustain humanness, so that you have the free time to do your volunteer work at the church, at the local community, for the Boys and Girls Club, because that's really what you want to do, and you love it so much that you offer free website design, you offer free email returns, you offer free retreats for them, or you fundraise for them, and that's your passion. He said you just have to define it for yourself. You have to look at what your needs are, where your heart is, how does that work in your human life, and then set a plan, so that you can roll this plan out over a few years and get to where you want to be. Ding!
Okay. Anything else on happiness and fulfillment?
No. We'll
obviously,
just say no.
yeah. Come on, Jamie. All right, close up this YouTube. And I just want to let you guys know that Jamie's amazing, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Eric, get along well together. So I really encourage. What is he doing?
Eric. He looks like a tree in the picture. It's not fair.
Anyway, go check out our site with loveandlight.com, peeps. Also, I wanted you to know that I've got the galley to Eric's new.
Look at it.
Not proofread. This is just what we send out to media.
That is wonderful. Oh, Eric's so excited. He's like, go buy my book, go buy my book.
Yeah, it's ready for a pre-order on Amazon or whatever. But My Life After Death, a Memoir from Heaven. And in it, he describes everything, all about his death, his goodbyes, his funeral, what happened when he crossed over, what heaven looks like in such great detail, what spirits do, what he does, and so on. So I really recommend that. And that's all I have to say. Also, like and subscribe, please. Like and subscribe.
Yes, like it. Push the button and like it. And head over to channelingerik.com. And remember, that's Erik with a K. Start in the archives from the beginning if you're a newbie. And join the Channeling Erik family. Erik says he loves you. And he'll be at your house to prank you soon.
Probably. He has already done that to a lot of YouTube subscribers. So beware, folks.
Yes, beware.
All right. Bye, people.
Bye.
Y'all.